Hey Wargamers, today I want to talk about Shas'o R'alai, or Oh Really if you like your internet memes. He's one of the two special characters that are in Imperial Armour Index Xenos, and I think he's one of the cooler looking models in the Forgeworld line as well. So he's actually a really nice component of your army too. So let's talk about his strengths and weaknesses and how you might want to field him. Before we do that though, I want to say thanks for watching. If you like this video, go ahead, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming unit reviews, battle reports, or any other 8th edition content. So, alright, basically, Oh R'alai does... Oh R'alai is a specialized commander on characters, heavy infantry, or light vehicles, depending on what you want him to do, really. And his profile is pretty unique. So let's start with that. He has movement 8, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 2 up, as you would expect. Strength 5, toughness 6, which is nice. 8 wounds, again, also nice. 4 attacks, 9 leadership, a 3 up save. And he comes stock with 2 black light marker drones, which are basically just marker drones. They used to be a little bit different, but now they're just marker drones. There's like nothing that makes them special. 8-inch movement, hitting on 5s or shooting at 5s. They actually hit in close combat on 3s, so I guess that kind of makes them special, but who cares? So they strength 3, toughness 4, 1 wound, 1 attack, 6 leadership, and a 4 up save. So he comes stock with 2 of those. But really his signature thing is that he has this experimental pulse submunition rifle, and in the past this had some pretty funky rules. Those have been simplified. Now he has a EMP mode where it's a 24-inch range, rapid fire 2, strength 6, -1 AP, 1 damage, and then when you fire this, you roll a d6, and on a 3 up it suffers a mortal wound if you're targeting a vehicle. So it's basically a haywire, the old haywire effect, only not quite as good. Yeah. And then it has a alternative mode, which is the hyper density Sabo, and that's 36-inch range, assault 2, strength 9, -2 AP, and 2 damage. So you can see right away that there's a clear distinction in the roles for these two. One is going to be better for vehicles to a certain extent, and the Sabo is going to be just like a punch in the face to pretty much anything else. And yeah, he has a whole slew of special roles. A lot of them are the same as the standard commander. So he has the Master of War ability, For the Greater Good, drone support, savior protocols, Manta Strike. He can do all those things. But he also has a drone controller according to the FAQ. He also has photon casters because he's basically in a hazard suit. So that subtracts 2 from charges against him, which is nice. It makes the EMP round more viable, that you're able to actually get close enough to get off a rapid fire shot without just automatically being charged. The -2 helps out a lot there. And yeah, he also has an Eclipse shield generator, which is better than a standard shield generator. It's a 4 up save, but that increases to a 3 up if the firer, if the shooter is more than 12 inches away. So this gives him some viability, some survivability at distance, which can be kind of a tricky thing for commanders because they can be very unidirectional. Basically, they plop down or are on the battlefield and they're kind of going one direction, and it's sometimes difficult to maintain a flank to prevent them from being targeted from the other side of the board or something like that if you're just trying to go in one single direction. And so this actually helps him in the case that you're flanked or anything like that, which is really nice. It makes him a lot more survivable. He has a special role called the Assassin, which allows him to re-roll misses against characters. And that's good. Effectively, it's only re-rolling 1s though, because he's already hitting on 2s, and re-rolls happen before modifiers. So even if you're firing at like some like Nurgle character or something, you have like -2 to hit, or if you're firing I don't know, whatever. If you're firing at something that has -2 to hit, he's still only going to be rerolling 1s, which is too bad. But it's still useful. It's better than nothing. I'm never going to snub a reroll, regardless of where it comes from or what it applies to. So that's pretty good. Let's see. And yeah, I think that's all of his funky special rolls. You basically have, well, you don't have any options with them, but you basically have 2 strategies that you can take with them. One is to deep strike him down behind a bunch of other commanders or a crisis suit unit. He doesn't need to be within 9 inches. In fact, he shouldn't be within 9 inches. Should keep him at least, right on that 12-inch mark is really where he's going to have the most options and be the most survivable. So you don't need a homing beacon to use him or anything like that. Just drop him down behind some crisis suits or some commanders. They can target a blob of infantry or a vehicle. They can get that out of the way, and then Shas'o R'alai can take out a character if they're able to kind of peel away the shielding on that guy, whether that's a transport or a infantry unit or something else. Use those other units to basically peel that away, and then he can go and basically just punch that character right in the face. So that's one viable option, I think. I think that's the easier way to use him. The slightly more complicated and maybe riskier way, I'm not really sure, is I like how his shield generator is basically the opposite of a Ivara shield generator. Ivara shield generators get better as the opponent gets closer. His gets worse as they get closer. So if you pair him with Ivara, you get Ivara upfield, he deep strikes in behind them or somewhere else. It basically forces the opponent to prioritize either going after the Ivara or after the commander. And you might automatically say, well, you should definitely go after the Ivara because they're going to hurt you more, and that's true. But if Shas'o R'alai is your general, then that's a warlord victory point there for you if you can take him out. So there is some weight in going after him, and you basically force the opponent to pick between 2 options that are good for you. If they go after the Ivara, that's fine. If they go after Shas'o R'alai, that's fine too. And so you force the opponent into making a decision, and when you do that, it provides opportunity for you to exploit that decision. And so I do like how they pair off each other, how they mirror each other in certain ways. And so I think that's another viable option as well. I would say, based on his shield generator and stuff, you could kind of deep strike him off by himself, but he's just one dude, and that's really his weakness, is that he's not going to destroy something all by himself. Most likely, he still needs help, but he can kind of be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and he can deliver some decisive wounds against a character or something else. And so if you deep strike him off by himself, he's just not going to have the support he necessarily needs, and he's also just not going to be able to offer as much to the rest of your army via things like Master of War or other abilities. So I really wouldn't go with that. And he just has the 2 marker drones. I think I forgot to mention this, but he does have a built-in drone controller according to the FAQ as well. And so they do have a slight advantage over normal marker light drones just because they're nearby him. But yeah, those are just a liability because they're an easy kill point for your opponent. So really not a lot going on with that option. I would rather have him stick around with other units and be able to kind of play off their strengths and weaknesses himself. So that's it. Overall, I think he's pretty good. I put him on par with Farsight, maybe a little bit better than Farsight. But yeah, not somebody that's going to win the game for you, but a good support unit, something that can open up some interesting gameplay options for you. And it's a cool model on top. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And of course, happy wargaming.